When this whole world starts a getting me down and people are just too much for me to face, I'll climb way up to the top of the stairs and all my cares just drift right into space. On the roof, it's peaceful as can be, and there the world below don't bother me. That's where I am. I'm up on the roof. It's either the French Riviera with its rocky beaches or the roof of St. James Church. You know, this little stand I have it on isn't very tall, so I mean, if I stood up, you get quite a nice view, obviously, all 360. But give you a little sense being up high, I think, with the roof, and you see half of our chimney over there and the treetops in the distance. So beautiful day. I was waiting for a calm day so I could get up on the roof. But that that song is a pretty spiritual song. I watched it on YouTube the other day, and the comments were so inspiring. Or the song, I forget who, Carole King wrote it with her first husband. Goffin, his last name is, but the Drifters, made a record, and then James Taylor, I think, they just really did the outstanding version of it. But the comments about just how meaningful that song was to so many people who were desperate or in despair and without hope, and them hearing him sing that there's this place where you can go and find peace up on the roof. It clicked with a lot of people, and it just meant the world to them. So we'll conclude with a bit of that song too. But obviously up on the roof you can go, but I think for the spiritual person, we need our places. We need where we can go to find some peace, a peace of mind when things get really stressful. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is going somewhere. You have a place where you like to go, and sometimes it's more going within, finding a deep space within. I was just what was the topic? It's a book club we were reading on Tuesday, and this person was just reporting what really helped them once they talked to a spiritual friend who said, even if you're feeling like a schmuck and you're no good and people are just too much for you to face, as the song said, there's this place inside where the deepest part of you, beneath all your sins, beneath any of your weaknesses, beneath any of your shames, it's your deepest place where only you and God dwell. God's the only one that's really privy to that place, and it's holy and it's good, and it's where God made you to dwell with Him. I was going to show it to you later, but maybe I'll just show it to you now. I do have some parish news coming up, but this is going to be our gospel reading on Sunday. Can you tell what it is? So it's like a tree, but I guess it's not really a tree. It's like a grapevine. And so you might remember in the 15th chapter of John's gospel account that Jesus says, "I'm the vine and you are the branches." And then he has that beautiful line, "Remain in me as I remain in you. Remain in me as I remain in you." And it's that kind of feeling that, this deep place, this inner sanctuary we have in our lives. And I think when I was doing those prayer things, I don't know if anybody's able to watch those, a different method of prayer each week during Lent. When I talked about contemplation, I think that's why I like contemplation. Sometimes, I don't know, I get kind of stressed out easily about things that I shouldn't probably, but it really helps me. If you can do contemplation and be up on the roof, maybe that's both, but even if I can't be on the roof, just to kind of sit and breathe and, say the word love or Jesus or God, and just know that there's this reality that's greater than my troubles, that's with me and loves me, and that my life is judged by just, being in touch with that and not succeeding at everything I try to do or something. But never lose touch with the vine, because we're the branch. Anyway, I wasn't expecting to go into all that, but I guess that's fair enough. Good stuff, right? Um, yeah, we need. I was just thinking, up on the roof, a place of peace. We just need it. I don't know how you're feeling about living in society these days, but there's just a lot of division, a lot of reasons to be kind of stressed out. And sometimes it gets within families and neighbors or whatever. But just this week, I was just watching the news, and I was flipping channels, and gosh, you'd think you're on Mars and one day in one channel, and on Venus the other channel. It's just like totally emphasizing different stuff and different viewpoints. And the one I thought was I mentioned last week, with the questions of racial justice and policing policy, and how that's really such a hard thing. And I made a plea that you can be for both racial justice and for the police, and not have to take sides on that so much. I don't think. Maybe I'm oversimplifying, but anyway, the one channel was all about a family who's had one of their children shot by police, and what their investigations about that. And I'm like, I wonder what the other channels are doing. So I flipped to the other channel, and it's all about police and how police are persecuted, and how so many police are resigning in different cities. And I thought, well, gosh, that's interesting. And I think in the old days you'd probably have a channel that would have both of that, but now it seems like it's a one or the other kind of thing. And probably a lot of people just watch one or the other, and so then I don't know. That's a time when I like to go up on the roof and just try to be at peace and try to put it together in my head a little bit. Because nobody wants to look down on police, and nobody wants people to feel less safe or have less access to success because of the color of their skin. So, I think we can support one another across the board. Where there's, I don't know, extremism on either side, then to challenge that. But yeah, and then I don't know. I watched this movie last year, The Social Dilemma, and it didn't sink into me that much when I read it, but it's just how, things that come across our screen on Facebook or YouTube, they just kind of push the envelope and kind of push us to more extreme views, and the algorithms that they use and stuff like that, and so these chats, I don't think they'll ever get hundreds of thousands of views, because I don't say anything too radical or anything that gets anyone's adrenaline going too much. But some do, and then and it kind of feeds some people's needs to feel something, I guess, and then those get hundreds of thousands of hits, and society gets more divided, I think. And so there's just a lot of things driving us apart. And Jesus, of course, is our good shepherd. He wants to bring us together, and we're his people, so we should want to be peacemakers too. So it's a full-time vocation, I think, for us these days, is to try to be peacemakers. That line from St. Francis's prayer that I quoted last week, to really seek to understand more than to be understood. That can be such a relief, to kind of just let go of our own stuff for a while and just try to understand another viewpoint, and people like to be understood, so it's a way of building friendships too. But anyway, I'm a bit rambly right here. Here's some Parish stuff though, okay? I do want to say about the police though, because Jackie Miller, one of our staff people, she's involved with the Jonah kind of ecumenical group that does great stuff to try to advocate for fairness in society, especially with people that are having a hard time getting on with life. And one of the things is with immigrants. She's on the immigration task force, and anyway, she just had the most wonderful things to say about our police department. I think they met with the chief. I'm sorry, I'm sure I'd mispronounce his name if I tried to say it, but our Eau Claire City Police chief. And just how dedicated he is, and the force is, to just building good relationships in our community, and to not have people be afraid of them, and they have strategies how to de-escalate situations, and they're trying to work on them, and they're thinking of hiring a social worker. So one of the things about reallocating money that we spend on police is maybe, they're expected to be, EMTs, they're expected to be, to take care of crime, to take care of this. They're expected to be social workers, deal with mental health, caseworkers, homeless, all these things that the police get called in for. Anyway, it sounds like Eau Claire is trying to maybe get a social worker on the force to ease the burden of that on all of our officers. So that'd be a good thing. Anyway, she was just so impressed by the way that the police in Eau Claire, and I've heard that too of other people. I know our Salika, who's such a leader in kind of anti-racist stuff in Eau Claire area, she's always had really good things to say about our police in Eau Claire. So Parish stuff, okay? Hey, we have, I don't know if anybody's looking to get vaccinated yet. It seems like a lot of people who've wanted it have now had it. But we're, one of the reasons why the church leaders, our U.S. bishops, Pope Francis, is really promoting and trying to get out there and get vaccinated, is because that will help end the pandemic. Some people say, well, as long as I'm vaccinated, why do I care if you're vaccinated? Well, the more people that are vaccinated, the quicker the pandemic will come to an end and life can get back, to the way, we want it more to get back to the way it was, I guess. Anyway, toward that, the health department reached out to our different groups, and they reached out to St. James, and so we're going to have a little, what they call it, a pop-up clinic. Okay, so on this coming Sunday from 8:30 a.m. until 10:30 a.m., you can come and get the first of two. So it'd be one of the 2-stage shots. I'm not sure if it's Pfizer or Moderna. And then they would come back in 3 or 4 weeks to finish that. So it's open for the whole community. It's not just for parishioners or people at Mass. You can just come. It'll be in the gathering space. So we'll have a pop-up vaccination clinic. And it's free and open, and all are welcome. So we see that as a community service. Cleanup the same weekend. So that vaccination thing is this weekend. Our grounds cleanup. So I'll do my best to pick up the rocks up here on the roof off the walking path here. But down below, we will have raking and remulching maybe, and weeding and clipping. And that'll all start at 9 a.m. on Saturday. What is that, May? Is that May? I don't know when it is. It's this Saturday. Let's see. Oh, is it May 1st? What's today? Today's the 28th, and it's Wednesday. So it'll be May 1st. So Saturday, May 1st. Come on, bring a rake if you have one. If you don't, I'm sure. If you really got nothing to do and there don't seem any work for you, you can always redistribute the wood chips on our disc golf course holes. People, it's my little pet peeve. I'm glad people use the course. It's a joy to see. But often, when the disc hits the base of the pole, the wood chips go flying. And it doesn't seem like people replace the wood chips. If you're golfing and you make a divot, you put the turf back to cover it up. I would think it's a similar situation here, but people don't seem to do it. So anyways, there's a lot of loose wood chips all around the holes that I always try to pick up and put back. Anyway, that's a tangent. You know how we like to share our pet peeves, right? So anyway, those are two big things this weekend. The pop-up vaccination clinic, Sunday, 8:30 to 10:30, and the grounds cleanup day to make everything look spiffy in time for next week's confirmation. So we're going to have confirmation next week. That'll be awesome. I don't know the total number. Probably, it's around 25, I think. I just had a couple things from our confirmation students. So the bishop's not coming with the virus things, and so I'll be the one doing the confirmation. We did that last year as well. Works out okay. I feel bad. I think it does add something for sure to have the bishop here, add some solemnity and makes it a little special and different. But I'll do my best to make it special for what I can. But mostly it's the faith of our students that'll make it special. Ashley King is our great leader there, and did good retreat times. I just want to read a couple things. So they write me a letter before they're confirmed. I just want to read a couple of what things that they wrote. Oh gosh, I'm glad that this is where the bells are. I would turn it, but that would mess up my. It's 4 megaphones going in each direction, so it's electronic. I don't know if you thought we actually had metal bells, but Was it 5 or 4? I don't know. I didn't count. But remember I said if it's ever 5 bells, then one of those bells belongs to Tom Robertson. Because when we had our little, I just made it known that we were needing some money to improve our bell system or to really fix it. Anyway, he came through in a nice way for us. We had his funeral last week, so we remember Thomas well. Anyway, so this is what I'm going to keep these anonymous, but so they're asked to do some service, and I just thought this was spot on. Why service is a good thing, and why we ask our youth to log service hours before they're confirmed. He said, one experience that was most meaningful to me was when I volunteered at Community Table. So that's a free meal program in Eau Claire, downtown. Before I volunteered in their kitchen, I had not been around or socialized with the homeless in our community. I had not spoken with them because I was afraid that I wouldn't understand them. When I talked to them, though, I realized that they were regular humans. They have different concerns and problems than what I have, but they have the same sense of humor and were friendly. It was also interesting to meet the volunteers that supervised and directed the Community Table. They help cook out every day to give to the less fortunate. The way that they give of themselves inspires me to help out more in the community. So it's great, that desire to serve, but I'm sure you've probably heard what I heard. Just that building bridges, we're just, I don't know if we can be afraid of people that are different than us. I suppose at the bottom of it is fear. We don't know, we're not sure how it'll go if I'm with someone who's different from us, or what I'll say, so it's just kind of easier just to be around people that are like us, And that's a problem of, that's just a problem, and that's really where we need to stretch, and I do too, absolutely. I'm included in that. We're all in this together, all as humans and all our diversity, and gosh, to try to understand one another and be together. Anyway, so isn't it beautiful? Because I think it typically, his experience is typical. I used to, in campus ministry, I used to go in homeless shelters in Minneapolis, and we'd serve soup kitchens and things like that. And that was a very common, I would say after those nights of service, there was a lot of joy among our volunteers. And partly it's like, they did a good thing, but partly it was, I think they experienced the joy of community. These people that I just sort of had stereotyped, or I just thought that they were, afraid of, or that I didn't know anything about. Well, I talked to them. They told me about what their day was like, and I told them what my day was like, and we actually had, we were human together, and that's communion. That brings joy, we fear it, but that's what brings joy. We don't get joy by just amassing what we can for ourselves and living on our little islands, We experience joy when we live in freedom and community, And so anyway, that's what Ed experienced. That was really beautiful. Oops, I gave his name. It's such a positive thing. Sorry, good job. This is very thoughtful. This was a little bit harder for me to follow with the words, but I think you can kind of get a sense of her feeling. We talked about all the different kinds of people in the world. So another one of our confirmation candidates wrote me this. She said, I think young people today have many difficulties that they face with their faith. There's so much diversity in our world that it can make it difficult for some people to be their own person. There's so many influencers, people who try to have influence on us, that make it seem if other people aren't like them, that they are not right for this world. And sadly, many people believe them, especially younger people. They don't realize how beautiful they actually are, because they are the work of God. God made us to be different and to spread our individuality around the world. We aren't supposed to be the same, otherwise God would have made us the same. And I don't think many people see this. I know I struggle all the time with seeing how beautiful and unique I am. And I think that is the case for many people my age. I think that this message is something that I will carry with me throughout my confirmation journey, and that it will make my faith stronger. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, I just so appreciated reading that. We'll keep that one anonymous. Let's see. I must have some other things here. So masses are, back to kind of parish news. So we are our pattern now is we'll have the 4:30 Mass Saturday, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock Sunday, indoors consistently. Occasionally we will have outdoor Mass. We are looking at, and we'll see. Obviously, if hardly anybody comes to the outdoor Masses, then we'll lessen their frequency. If so many people do, we may want to increase their frequency. But we're thinking as summer approaches, 6:30 on Saturday would be a good consistent time. So if you're having outdoor Mass, that's when it would be. So the next one will be Pentecost Saturday. That's May 22nd. Then we're looking at one for sure on the Feast of St. James. That's not then until July 25th. And the vigil will be the 24th. 25th is my mom's 91st birthday. It's the 24th. I always you think you'd know your mom's birthday, right? I always forget it's 23rd or 24th. Pretty sure it's the 23rd. Sad. And then probably two in between there, maybe like June 12th. We were thinking the night of before July 4th. July 3rd might be a fun night to get together and have that Saturday evening Mass. And then, of course, on Summerfest, which is what started the whole thing. That's when we tried to have our first outdoor Mass last year. Got a big storm that stormed us out. Anyway, so the usual inside Masses, and then the next outdoor Mass will be the vigil for Pentecost on May 22nd. We say goodbye to Henry Sawaski. He's moving. He fell in love, that rascal, and his beloved is anchored in Green Bay. And Henry is on our pastoral council, and we can thank Henry for coming up with the idea when we were trying to figure out how to distribute communion safely and how to be as safe as we could and also have a good full experience of prayer when we went back to public Mass last year. And he said, well, why don't we all say amen together? You can say like the body of Christ in front of all of us, and then we'll all say amen together. And so then we won't have that the breathing back and forth and the speaking back and forth at communion time. And I think that's been pretty well received. So thanks, Henry, for that concrete gift that you gave our parish. And your young voice, I don't even know if he's 30 years old yet, and he was great to have on the council. And we'll miss you. We'll miss him. So could that be it? Thanks to the catechist. It's our last religious ed night for our younger set. I think there's a few more, there's confirmation rehearsal and things like that. But they're doing such fun things. They're having a scavenger hunt tonight around church and things like that. And, hey, Parish Bike Ride. Finally, I think we're going to do it Sunday, noon. So, when we first started doing those, a lot of people came. And it was, I thought, more fun when a lot of people come. We still do it when it's just a handful. But, consider joining us. We just meet out there down below the roof there on the parking lot on 11th Street, 12 noon on Sunday. Usually try to fit some ice cream in there. So we'll do that this Sunday and several Sundays this summer. I should say with the signups, I forgot to say it last week too. I think when people heard no more signups for Mass, so it's our usual indoor Mass, but we don't have to do the signups anymore. It seems to be working fine. But some people were afraid when we said no signups. That just meant, free for all, sit wherever you want. Well, no, we'll still be, have ushers and with distancing and masks are required, and the ropes will still be blocking off. So it's not like we're all just going to pack in again. So we'll still have some pews blocked off. So there will be that spacing. It's just that when you walk in, we trust that you'll kind of know to keep the spacing and sit in a good spot. Okay, so I know it's a little awkward and it's not perfect, but golly, it's we're trying, right? And every week I see some new people in church, and it's just a joy. We saw Bob Hegel last week come in for the first time in months and months and months, and that was a happy moment. And I don't mean to just single one person out, but we had a fun time reconnecting, I think. So anyway, we go on. Let's see. Let's wrap it up with another verse from Up on the Roof. You have to imagine being here at night when the stars are out. At night, the stars, they put on a show for free. And darling, you can share it all with me. That's what I said. I keep on telling you that right smack dab in the middle of town, I found a paradise that's trouble-proof. And if this old world starts a getting you down, there's room enough for two. Up on the roof, up on the roof. May we all find that place where we dwell in God and God dwells in us. And though we know we're not made to live up on the roof, but to engage in the world with the love of the light of Christ and the love of Christ helping us to engage in the world with his love. We need a place to recharge and to re-energize. Sometimes it's in church. Sometimes it's up on a roof. And sometimes it's in that quiet sanctuary where only God and you dwell. May you find that and love that. God bless you, everybody. Bye-bye.